Want to play Nintendo? Okay, let's see what you got there.
All right, here comes the I told you.
Shake it in my boots. Here we go. Come on.
So you hear about Call of Duty 4?
What?
Call of Duty 4.
What?
Call of Duty 4.
Call it Duty 4?
Call of Duty 4.
Call of Duty 4?
Yeah. It's pretty cool, actually.
Really?
This game is so old.
What's it about?
It's a war game. Most of the other Call of Duties are like based on World War II, but this one's with Iraq.
Yeah.
And you switch off between a Marine and an SNS, British Special Operative, so it's pretty cool.
Wow. Hold on. All right, hold on. There we go. All right, there it is. Ram Jam. You finished. Okay, one more.
I gotta go.
Huh?
Start. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Hi.
Hi, Chris.
Hi. Which one is it?
37.
37?
Oh,
37? Add to. Shane, what was it? 37?
Jesus.
Yes. What? All right.
What?
37. I'm Chris Antista. We also have
Michael Raparas, PlayStation editor. Brett Elston, editor of Nintendo forever.
Shane Patterson, editor.
Major. All right. Hey! Well, we can finally move into this. We're going to start. Sorry if we sound breezy, but it's late. We couldn't get stuff to work. But what do we do every week?
Why, every week we discuss that week's top 7.
Bingo!
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And what was this week's top 7?
That was the top 7 games that should have had co-op.
Should have had co-op. By who?
By, well, it says me, but it was actually a conglomeration of my Brain Juices
Oh, I take that back.
and Michael and Charlie's Guts.
Yeah. Not appropriate.
No. And neither is your attitude.
Either way, it was wrangled. It was wrangled by Brettlesnake.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
no one likes that. Just came up with it. Fine.
Rattlesnake?
Top 7 games that should have had co-op.
Yeah.
And I'd say at this point, almost every game.
All I'm saying is co-op, they should have had it.
Yeah, that's right. No,
That was a throwback to last week's podcast. If you did not hear the super drunk Tyler Wilde. What is
immensely drunk, Tyler.
so drunk?
My goodness, that boy was souse. I only heard from one person who didn't like it because I thought it was way more madcap than I remember it because Tyler's just screaming and doing Christopher Walken impressions. Ow! Hey!
Wow.
But yeah, my favorite. Of course, this article made it a dig because we're Games Radar and we have lots of pages. And
There's as many pages as there are complaints.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And my favorite comment was somebody's like, "GoldenEye," and some guy,
what?
What about GoldenEye? That should have had co-op. And the next commenter, just to call him out, Dom Dunk said, "Yeah, then you could play as James Bond's famous sidekick."
Yeah, people were really getting confused in the comments of just like, you know what really good game I like that should have had co-op.
Yeah.
Like, that. The whole point is there are games that should have had it, and there are games you like that you would.
What about EverQuest? That should have had co-op.
Everyone like saw a lot of people like, what about BioShock? That would have sucked. Would have been horrible. Like, like you're missing the point of some games are meant as solitary experiences.
What about Alone in the Dark?
Sort of alone.
And I only say because I played Gears of War on hard, and it's obviously not really meant for one person to do. I can't cover. There's like always two sides to things that I can't cover, and my back's always open.
And usually the AI, as evidenced in number 7, Clive Barker's Jericho, which I just went through 2 weeks ago, which is why I knew about it.
So, did you say great game, Shane?
Yes.
You were joshing.
I know.
He was Jameson. It's an okay game. It was fun to go through once. It's very straightforward. Clive Barker's sense of horror seems to be, hey, do you know kids are scary? Everything is the children's tears. Yes, I got it, kids. Got it, kids. Really, more kids.
Guys.
Kids.
Get this. Have you ever sung a nursery rhyme slowly?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frightening.
No, that book I read in 4th grade didn't do that either.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I love that book.
I found my old fart button.
Wow.
Continue.
But yeah, Jericho. What's interesting about it is that you're almost always in the same squad of 6 people. There are 6 people in your squad, and in a very cool twist, at the very beginning of the game, one of the main characters dies, and his spirit. His spirit you can then toggle, and it will jump into everyone else, and you can control them through his eyes. That explains why you're jumping around at first-person perspective, and each one has a different power and a different thing that it brings, and they're all like paranormal and creepy. Like one girl has a ghost bullet that when you shoot it, you can track the bullet through everything's head, like multiple headshots in a row. It's really neat.
I think I'm going to call that bullet time.
Like,
hey guys, it's bullet time.
It is slow motion, but you just control the bullet, literally. And it can turn around corners. I mean, you're telekinetically controlling.
Like the bullets in Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, just like the bullets.
Alright, I can relate now.
They'll smash.
Oh, I don't know. We went that way.
Way.
They were dum-dums.
They were done. Hold on. We're going to take a brief break to go watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit. We'll be right back.
But anyway, it really reeked of an experience that should have been 6-player co-op. Everyone could have picked a character, really learned them, and been like, "Oh, this is where I got to step up." And there's whole sections of the game that are like, clearly this is the character meant to shine here. And it would have been really neat to actually have people watching your back, mainly because the AI is, I can't think of an angry enough word for bad, really dumb,
Really
and
dumb.
and they,
All right.
those assholes just run at everything, and there are enemies that explode when they die, and there are hundreds of them, and they literally run up to it. Yeah, take that, you son of! And all dead. And it's a splash damage thing that can take out 3 people at a time. And when your whole team is dying, and you're like, oh, good that the girl who can slow down time is dead. That's great.
Dead.
Granted, you can bring them all back indefinitely, but it's just a problem when you're spending more time bringing people back. Blah 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 blah. Biggest problem with that game was the AI was horrible.
And I thought the AI, and I've just finished Gears 2 really late, and I thought the AI for Dom in that was worse than 1.
Really, I played it with Michael co-op. I don't know.
1 player, he's running around kicking and moving my body as I'm crawling to get him to revive. Revive me! No.
Press X to revive. Buy Bender's game on DVD.
Those
Dude.
are horrible impressions.
Dude, oh, and before, if you're sitting through this, we're going to announce some contest winners at the end, so, hey.
Yes. Number 6 is Michael's bane of Michael existence, Killzone 2. He actually just sat up and leaned forward.
You actually played that
At
game?
the same time.
This entry is a game you still can't buy, kids.
I thought we were paid not to play that.
No, we
I
were
know,
paid to trash that.
Wait a
By
minute.
Sony.
Michael is on a lot of takes. He's on the capital the take.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm also writing for PlayStation, the official magazine, so I guess that makes me really biased.
Officially biased.
Yeah. Yeah, I had my picture in there. Did any of you fanboys have your pictures in Pete Tom? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Also, keep in mind you have to trust us at this on the list, considering it won't be out for another month.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's like you can trust us or you can't trust us, but at least wait until the game is out before declaring us corrupt.
Let's
Anyway,
move on to this
yeah.
We'll move on to this next.
We'll get back to that later.
Next week, in our next segment, we're going to get in the zone.
Yeah. That's what we'll do.
Aww.
Yeah, but anyway, Killzone 2's co-op. It was one of those weird things that the game. I wouldn't have commented on it except that the game seems to be built around co-op. There's all these things like you spend a lot of time with one squad member named Garza who becomes probably he's the character you get the closest to over the course of the game. And I mean, you just do things with him like fireman lifts. He's the only other one who seems capable of solving any puzzles. It's like he'll just go hack keypads, and it's like I could see that becoming a mini game for a second player.
Is he Asian?
Garza? How many Asian people do you know are named Garza?
Hideo Garza?
Right. So
I cracked myself.
yeah. But anyway, and on top of that, I thought that was kind of weird that there wasn't co-op, and then I heard rumors from certain people in our office who work very closely with Sony that there is a co-op patch coming. And then that got reported on some blog, and so I went and tried to confirm it with a Sony rep, and they're like, "No, there's all these rumors. We're really not doing anything with co-op."
Yeah, they came out and said that it's too hard at this point to make a co-op game with a simple patch.
It does seem like a bit much to patch
It will,
a whole other perspective on
And
the
I
game.
thought Guerrilla came out and said straight up, like, we just can't do that right now.
Yeah. It does seem like, well, the one thing I'll give Killzone from watching Michael play, I'm actually waiting to play the retail copy myself, but the one thing I can say just by watching it is it definitely, despite having started development probably in 2004, doesn't look and feel like a game that started that late, except that co-op has become a standard in the last 2 years, and it does have it. That's the only thing to me that seems like you guys didn't pay attention to the last several years. Everything else looks surprisingly up to date.
Oh, never mind.
Never mind. That implies that you were
Hold
about
on.
to start to say something.
I have something I meant to play it in the beginning, but I want you to promise not to get a complex about it.
Me?
Yes, you, Brett Elston. Twishart sent me this, and it is a collection of all your from Podcast 34, and it was really funny.
And now, a word from Mr. Elston.
But you know what's funny is I'm surprised it took someone 34 weeks. It's a
I really like that one.
No, that is good. I thought someone was going to do it with all my whatevers.
Yeah, but your whatevers are kind of like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Fudge it. And
I know, but I tend to say whatever a lot. To be fair, though, you could do the with anybody.
I don't do a lot of but what I do is like a hang glider coming in for landing. I start running before I hit the ground. So you're pretty. So I really hate it when you hear me talk. It's like somebody with Killzone 2 anyway. Like
yeah,
I did.
You definitely do that.
Yeah.
Having edited your podcast.
So Brett formulates his thoughts so he doesn't come off like a moron, like I tend to do.
Like
I know I do it a lot. It's just a case of mouth running faster than brain.
Incredible amount.
Oh yeah, I know.
You're fired.
I know.
So number 5. Let's just get off Killzone because we'll probably be talking about it again a little later.
Yeah, let's do.
The review that we posted and all that bullshit.
This is us
Number
leaving Killzone
5.
Jesus Christ.
That is 8 seconds too long. Number 5 is GTA 4. Heard of it?
GTA 4.
Which Charlie, there was a for you, freebie.
Stop it! I told you, don't get a complex.
I'm complicated now.
Oh. Complexicated.
Son of a bitch, bastard.
But got an apartment complex. Holy shit.
GTA 4 on the list. GTA 4 is on the list. Charlie actually argued this because I thought the game kind of lended itself to a solo experience because it was Nico's story, pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Charlie, I think, made a compelling argument that when you go on these big heists with all like especially with what was the family the
Irish family?
Packy's family?
Packy's family. All their stuff was really grandiose, and we got to make a big pull, and we'll go to that bank job you do, and all this stuff. It just seemed more like a. And Charlie wisely pointed out that those big heists that you do would have been a lot better if everyone in that group was not AI controlled. And
it's the McReary's, by the way.
McReary's, that's what it was.
And I really like that family. I like their story.
I did.
It just seemed really cool. The co-op that is in the game is still good. The multiplayer stuff where you're doing cops and robbers stuff, that's fine. But it would have been really cool to have some kind of story like Roman is a key character, or Charlie pointed out it would have been really fun to play as Brucey. I don't know what you would do in the off time besides
be original.
And everybody loves Brucey for some reason.
Brucey rules. I'm going to play that stupid commercial again because I love Brucey. Be original. A guy from Easthook to modify it to make it worth a lot less.
Yeah,
a lot less. Love Brucey.
I don't know. That's something I wish Charlie were here to defend more. But if you read the article,
I understand the missions needed co-op, but could have used co-op. But I think there was kind of a narrative and a story to be enjoyed by one person, and that can't be enjoyed by two people playing co-op instant action. I'm actually not sure how Saints Row 2 does it, because I know it does allow co-op.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just it doesn't make a difference in the story. Like,
it does?
No, well, that's the thing, that each player just sees their own character in the cutscenes, and there's no hint of a second person except in the gameplay.
By the way, the cutscenes in Saints Row 2, pivotal, crucial to everything.
Number 4 is Rise of the Kasai, which was almost forgotten.
Of course. Not by me. I go to EB, every time I go to GameStop, I'm looking for that game. I have not played it. Mark of Cree is one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, Mark of Cree was really good. Rise of the Kasai is a disappointing mess.
I know it's supposed to be bad, but I really, really like Mark of Cree.
So did I. I loved it, and I absolutely hated the sequel.
Yeah, no, that's...
It's a sequel that, from the beginning, they promised this game is going to be online co-op all the way through. You will play as Cree and what's-her-nuts, the girl.
Rao, not Cree.
Oh, what's his name? Rao? Oh, that is right. I remember that. Rao. What was the girl's name?
Tati. And then you also played as their mentors in flashback sequences who were named Baumusu and Grizz.
I remember playing as the bird.
Who cares?
Shane,
Attaboy, Shane's playing the part of our audience right now.
You don't want to know arcane facts about a 6-year-old
No,
PS2 game?
I tell him this every time.
This is why people listen to us, Shane.
Every time we're in GameStop, I'm like, please find Rise of Kasai. Michael's like, don't. Just don't. You have Mark of Cree. Let it go.
Yeah. And today in online co-op is, like the article suggests, mandatory almost. If you're going to pay $60 for a game, I really want to get as much out of it as I can.
Multiplayer.
And if the game warrants it or makes sense or was seemingly designed with it, it should be in there. This was back in, 2005, I think is when this came out? That was still a novelty. Yeah, this was a novelty. To be like, wow, really? The whole game co-op online on PS2? It was just unheard of.
On a console.
Yeah, for a console especially. And for PS2 especially, because Xbox Live did exist back then. But even something to this degree. And, of course, they cut it all out. The game kind of sucked. And what you got was... I didn't even touch it. But, like, Mark of Cree was like a Disney cartoon that was brutally violent.
Yeah. Beautiful. Mark of Cree, you can find it for $2. Do it.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. It was marked down to like $19.99, like immediately after its initial failure.
I think it was a huge. Well, it was successful enough to get a sequel, but
I think critically
it did very well critically.
Yeah. No, it was a fantastic game, and then the sequel comes out.
So bad about it? Like the AI was just shit, I guess.
The AI was shit. The thing I remember disappointing me the most was like the color palette. Like in Mark of Cree, everything is extremely colorful, and like you said, it's like a Disney cartoon. In Rise of the Kasai, everything's very gray. It's kind of dull. It looks very, latter day PS2. If that makes any sense. But
I know what you're saying.
It's kind of grainy and ugly, and the
Egyptian tomb, Egyptian tomb beige.
Yeah, lots of that. But it just wasn't very good at all. And it was by a different developer, which is part of the reason. It was by the same developer who did Shaolin Showdown. That. And it was now doing the new Splatterhouse game.
Ugh. That's gonna be really, really good, guys.
I love that we laugh out loud at it. No, it's not.
We haven't played it.
Keep working, developers will totally
You're trying to take advantage of nostalgia. That's fun.
Now, see, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, nostalgia for that.
Laughing out loud at a game we haven't played. That is bias.
No, it's not. Okay, no, I'm just.
It's not bias.
It's
I'm not
educated
biased. But I'll bet you dollars to donuts. No idea what that means. Splatterhouse is gonna be fairly mediocre.
Oh, I agree. I heard from someone though, like inside, that was the case.
On the inside?
Yeah, they were in jail.
Yeah.
That it was like, this is not like at the time. This was months ago though.
Yeah,
that
Brett
it's like
up in a garage with Deep Throat 420.
That's another thing that people in prison get to play video games before anybody else.
What?
Another reason for taxpayers to be pissed.
Maybe
that
they'll
explains
add
all
a
the
co-op patch, and it will be really good.
The co-op patch.
A weird.
That sounds so silly. That sounds like it's the fun patch. The game's different now. Here you go.
It's a finished product patch.
Yeah.
Before we go into number 3, I had a weird moment looking for assets for Rise of the Kasai, because, like you said, it's a very old PS2 game. Game Twitter didn't exist that year. Games Press, where we get a lot of our information from, or our old assets, also wasn't keeping track, really, of that game. So there was nothing. So I thought, okay, well, we do have PlayStation, the official magazine, which was PSM back then.
Yes.
What? Surely they've got archives. I know they do. So I go ask, hey, what issue was that in? I find out what issue it's in. I go grab the disc out of a drawer that's like, hey, remember this issue? I see the cover, and it's Darth Vader. It says, who's your daddy on it? And I'm like, that's very PSM for the time.
Yeah.
And I realized I recognize that issue because I had that in my coffee table when I lived in Illinois still. And I opened it. I had 2 reviews in that issue. It was such a weird full circle, researching a feature now, and then going back, like way back in 2005, and I'm like, I reviewed Constantine and Robots in that issue.
Nice.
PSM.
Both great.
Wait, they're doing robot reviews?
Robot.
Oh, the movie. Sorry, I thought you were just
Great
reviewing
joke.
robots.
Number 3.
The T-1000. The T-1000 is very versatile.
It's barely a robot, really.
It was Rise of the Robots.
Rise.
Number 3 is Call of Duty 4.
Call of Duty. That's right. Dude, that's what the kids are calling it.
Dude.
Call of Duty.
You guys want to play some Dude later?
What are you doing right now? I'm riding that Dude, bitch!
Did you get that clip, by the way? From the wrestler?
Yeah, we're gonna play the. We played the wrestler in the beginning of the cast. That is from the new movie, The Wrestler. Go see it. It's the most depressing thing I've ever seen.
How did you obtain audio of this?
I'm a member of the Academy.
The Academy of Pirates.
Too bad I hate Slumdog Millionaire.
Whoa! Number 3, Call of Duty 4. The main reason I wanted to include in this is I love the single player, and I don't play any I'd never played a Call of Duty prior to this, and was kind of over the whole.
It was a reason to care. It was a good reason to care right from the onset.
Yeah, like immediately, it's like, well, okay, we're taking it out of World War II. We're doing something different. And the only reason I played it was everyone was raving about it, and I'm like, I've got to check this out. First-person single-player campaign was so well paced, and all these great moments and set pieces that even though they unfold the same every time, to go through it once is such a ride.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much the second time because you know all the key points. If I could have done a co-op again, I totally would have. And at the time, 2007, Halo 3 had just come out, which was 4-player co-op, and Gears of War had come out a year earlier, was 2-player co-op.
Well,
and
was it the split screen co-op? Maybe.
Call of Duty 4.
Yeah. Well, Halo 2 was fucking co-op then.
Yeah, it was. So
Halo 2.
Oh yeah, Halo 1 was co-op. I went through Halo. It just seemed weird because that wasn't a deeply personal story that necessitated single player.
There were a couple. I think there may have been a couple moments where I can see why we don't want to share this
with
another player.
Slight tweaking. You could
By the way, in case you don't know, spoiler alert: the end of Call of Duty 4, it's a dream in an autistic kid's snow globe.
Oh.
So,
whatever.
You find that out after the alien level.
That's right. after the probaning.
Mario wakes up and he's in a theater watching Identity, and then he goes to spoiler: Identity is a dream, or in your head.
Guess what? You can have an infinite ammo cheat by sticking your screwdriver into your PS3 disk drive.
So yeah, it just seemed like
PS3 specifically.
Because Michael, I'm paid to hate the PS3. It is
the
what
most
I'm
expensive.
To do.
they pay us in Microsoft points, which are. I couldn't even get through the joke. It's just
they pay us in Deca points.
I was gonna say they pay us in.
Do you know how many dashboard themes this lifestyle has afforded me?
I couldn't have. God, I can't even finish any of the jokes.
They pay us in achievement points.
Yes.
For a game called Hating on the PS3 for Microsoft. If you look through our Gamerscore histories, you can totally find it.
Unethical review unlocked.
I was going to say they pay us in Microsoft points, which are redeemable nowhere.
I got that out.
Good one.
I have to
Number
laugh or
two.
else I'll cry.
We've still got one more to go. Number 2 is
This was a little bizarre.
this is where it starts to get into. This is why it's at the number 2 and number 1 needs some splaining because they're both shit games. Number 2 is Golden Axe Beast Rider. Golden Axe, as I mentioned in the text on GamesRadar.com,
It's on your internets.
this series Golden Axe is, like I mentioned in the text, synonymous with co-op from the
Yes.
beginning.
This is another example of a continuing theme the last 3 weeks that Sega didn't get it.
From the beginning,
It really reminds like an executive walked in a closet. What's this? That's Golden Axe. Just remake it.
and it's this franchise that hadn't seen any action in
Yeah.
years. Like the last one was a Saturn Fighter, and the last game that actually embodied Golden Axe was 3 on Genesis in like 1993.
Yeah, Golden Axe's day
And
was done.
Golden Axe, it's just a beat 'em up. It's Final Fight, it's Streets of Rage, it's whatever with axes and medieval monsters and dragons and shit. And it was really cool at the time.
And this is Golden Axe's answer to Final Fight Streetwise, so what's your point?
Basically.
Ooh, you got Raparez.
Bam.
Don't forget, you got to be wrong about something.
Hey, you really have to be wrong about something. You just go ahead and say something wrong so I can play the wrong Michael Raparez effect.
2 plus 2 is 7?
that is the wrong Raparez sound effect.
It actually sounds like it undid the last correct thing I said.
Watch what happens when I play them both together. I love this.
Oh, man.
It's like something was broken, just reformed again.
Actually, it does if the T1000 had a sound for coming back together. That's pretty good. Let me try it again.
Do it. Can't see this, kids, because this is radio.
Word.
Yeah, so there was Axe Battler, who is gone.
Battler! Axe Battler?
That was his name. And the fine-bearded Gilius Thunderhead.
Oh.
Rise from your grave.
Long game!
Sorry, same era. Same era. Marriage.
God damn it.
Beast Riders.
They were both removed from the game and only left Tyrus Flair, who was already, like, she was Amazon, so she was, in a bikini, basically. But for Beast Rider, they go, well, let's just forget the two dudes and just
Let's cut Rico's hair and rip her off entirely.
Oh! They sluttered her up even more from the bikini by giving her a bunch of, like, just flowy clothes and Noriko's hair. She just looks like, we really want to make Heavenly Sword.
And an action thong.
And an action thong. It just looks ridiculous. It looks so calculated. Like, isn't this sexy, you 14-year-old?
Yes. The pants remind me of Halle Berry's Catwoman, so that's never a good sign.
Does this make you have boner?
Have boner now?
Do you buy games based on boner? We think you do.
$60 boner?
$60 boner!
Could I be arrested for that? It's totally justified if I went into GameStop and bought Beast Rider with my erection. Handed them the money on the tip of my... Alright.
But yeah, so the game, as you might have guessed, being destroyed on Metacritic, it's a terrible game. And the thing that gets me the most is the developers already knew it should have had co-op, because there was a quote on Joystick that actually said, the sequel will definitely have all of the original characters in co-op. They'll be back. So we already know we kind of screwed up. But you hang on through one shitty game. Like, why would you even go through with making it when you know...
When our shitty game sells enough to make a sequel...
It bombed. I found out it bombed. I'm saying. Like, they actually released the sales numbers, and it's like, it sold 400 copies. I don't remember. It was like 30,000 or something like that. Just nobody... And, of course, they released it last fall, where it completely disappeared.
That's Banjo-Kazooie numbers. That's dismal.
Oh, Banjo-Kazooie. Please, everyone listening, go buy Nuts and Bolts just out of... pity.
Oh, not yet. Oh, buy the XBLA Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, do that instead.
That's good for you.
It'll make you feel... It will make you feel happy.
This is getting stupid.
Number one!
Wait. In the interest of fairness, we need to think of a PS3 title that they should go out and buy as well.
No.
They should all buy Valkyria Chronicles. How many times do you want me to say it?
That's good. That's good.
Little Big Planet?
Here
Yeah.
you go.
You
Your
like
Mega Man.
making games
that-
instead of playing them?
All right, Brett's requisite Mega Man noise.
Wow, that's just what I need.
God.
God. Let's move into number 1 with a new sound effect.
Everyone listening just took their headset off.
Was that loud?
Really loud.
Hold on, let me try it again.
God! Perfect.
Thank you, Shane.
Perfect. All right. Number 1 is TMNT. Now, some of the comments pointed out, well, this is a shitty game. Why is it number 1? I wasn't ranking the best games that needed co-op. I was ranking games that should have. And on a list
I
of...
guess you called the biggest doy. Like, really? You didn't...
Exactly. It's... If it were 1994, I would have called the biggest doy.
Yes, if it was 1985, I would have tapped him on the head with my fist as Biff would from Back to the Future.
McFly!
McFly.
There was something like 2 or 14 Ninja Turtles game in the last generation alone that had co-op.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have to go back to the first NES game to not get a co-op Ninja Turtles game.
Originally, I was trying to write this piece, and I had it written out. And TMNT is hitting its 25th year anniversary.
Yeah.
As 25 years. That's 25 years. The demographic you're shooting for has friends and have all played Ninja Turtles games with their friends. Like, how the fuck did you get here?
Yeah.
To a single player game. If you play the game, there's no way you can fit another character. It's basically as on rails as you can get. You can press forward and backward, but it's basically a play and rewind.
The thing is, that game is basically Spider-Man Friend or Foe with Ninja Turtles, and Friend or Foe is 2-player co-op. And this doesn't even have 2-player, despite the fact that 1989 arcade game had 4. and
I'll bet
people
this
lined up at the arcade to play that, and all the previous gen TMNT games. It's unacceptable that it would even get that far. Like, who on the project was never asked, oh, should we have No, we're good.
Yeah.
There are even moves where you call in another turtle off screen and he comes in and you do a co-op move and then he just goes off to hell or wherever turtles go when they die. Wow. It's quite a giggle.
Wow.
Turtle heck.
Turtle heck.
I have to edit this.
Go Ninja Go.
That is a good podcast ending. Look for Go Ninja Go. At the end of this
Not
podcast.
9.95?
9.95?
Put your body in
Great song.
overdrive.
Spin that wheel!
DJ.
I know my Ninja Turtles. That's the top 7. It's just a terrible game that, of all the things, you had a precedent set and you ignored it. And
It's not the best game that needs co-op. It's the game that needs co-op the most.
yes.
Not Bioshock?
Not Silent Hill.
I want to go on a deep personal journey with a friend.
I would have. The only thing I would have even slightly amended. I can't think of anything I would take off because these are all completely justified. I was mad about Geometry Wars not having co-op. I thought that would have been cool. That would have changed. That would have been a good reason to change up the sequel. To buy the sequel because I could play it with a friend.
Well, I guess
Not
it's
co-op.
not
I think it may be local co-op actually, not online.
What about Fallout 3? I love this comment.
What about
It's
Fallout?
an epic game.
Epic fail.
An
What about
epic
this?
RPG meant for one person.
Those are the kinds of things like that really wasn't meant for.
Kingpin 202, you're an idiot.
I mean, I do kind of understand that, as having played Morrowind and Oblivion, you kind of get to the point where you realize this is kind of like an MMO, but I'm the only one playing.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing
it's
is-
a big epic RPG.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't want to commit this 60-hour co-op with somebody.
No, not at all.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
that seems gross. Like, most of the time, what I use co-op for anyway is playing with friends back home, and we have a scant few hours to begin with. So I love a good 5-hour game with co-op that we can finish in a night or two.
Yeah, exactly.
That's totally numberful. How do we segue into Killzone?
Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, I have an idea.
All right.
In Killzone, you ride a flying cart. Just like that, by the way.
That is the opening.
Just like that. Michael finally reviewed Killzone 2, and
I did.
I just wanted. I really like. It was your assignment, and I never would. I'm like, Michael, can you please just get this over with and on the internet? I'm really. sick of it. They're biased against Killzone.
I wanted to get it over with because it was kind of ruining my enjoyment of the game, and it's a good game. It's a really fucking good game.
I don't believe you.
I know because I'm biased. If I say it's a good game, that must be wrong because I'm clearly biased for Microsoft and against the PS3.
A 9? Come on.
But is it really better than Halo? Gates, send the check too.
Yeah, I think it's better than Halo, and I did say, like, some people picked up on, like, really? They think the multiplayer's better in Halo? I hate the multiplayer in Halo. It's like pirate ships. That's all you need to say to me about
much
Halo.
fun.
And if you've never played pirate ships, wasn't it like a mod that somebody made?
Well, it's just an invention. You can. It's a game type.
Yeah.
You can create yourself.
Yeah, it's like two, what are they, elephants?
2 elephants. The sand is lava.
Uh-huh.
And it hurts you as you go across it. You basically ride around like pirates trying to run into one another and shoot each other off
it's like
pirate ship.
It's like a game that you know we used to play on playgrounds as kids. Only it's all real and moving around. And
The thing that people, when they say something like Halo 2...
Hold on. Can I just get my anecdote out about...
sure.
We played pirate ships. I mention this all the time to people who don't care, but maybe this podcast will. One of my crowning multiplayer achievements, playing pirates, I grab the mongoose, I'm going across the ground. The ground is hurting me, so I'm down to like no health. I ramp up onto the back of the elephant. Our boss, Eric Ratcher, is driving. Boom! The mongoose shoots into the air, and I jump off, and in midair, I pull out my plasma sword and uppercut Eric in the back. And hear from across the room my own boss, "No!" I still love that story. It's one of my favorite moments in any multiplayer ever.
Oh, do they put swords in Killzone 2?
Did they?
Did they?
There's a knife. Oh, I mentioned the knife. That means I'm biased.
Is it a plasma knife?
No.
No lightning of any
regular knife.
No
Really?
lightning of any kind located within this knife. No energy.
And as I point out again in the review, it does tend to kill things in one hit, which works out in your favor if you just bum rush everybody with it out. Although it doesn't work so well when there's a large group of Hellguest and a lot of them can keep shooting at you.
As I learned.
Mm-hmm.
The thing when people say, like, oh, Halo 3's multiplayer sucks, it's like, that's the difference between professional reviewers, professional games journalists, and just fanboys. Because I don't particularly like Halo at all, but if I were reviewing it, I would be hard-pressed to not give Halo 3 a 10 because of all the options and genuinely well-constructed
I do like it.
multiplayer. I barely like it, but I have, even if I reviewed it,
And get
Halo
this
3,
audience.
in my mind, it's still a 10. Like, there's so much game and content there, and it's all good.
I yawn to the point of straining myself at Call of Duty's multiplayer.
Really? 4?
Yes.
Wow.
4. I think it's just the aesthetic stuff that doesn't interest me. I don't really care to be in some real place right now being in a war.
I normally don't either. I just thought it was really addictive. The leveling system in that, really fun.
It's never appealed to me, and I don't want to like Halo because I think when I see the marketing campaigns, like, your story means nothing to me. Like,
Yeah.
what meant something to me is hooking up 4 Xboxes with Halo 1 to 4 TVs in a room
Yeah, that was
and
cool.
playing with 16 people. That was really appealing to me.
Quick aside, I just beat Halo 3 over the weekend, and if someone can send me a private message about what I accomplished at the end, that would be very much appreciated. I have no idea what the story amounted to, so if you can do that, remember, Games Radar Shane Patterson.
That's our Shane on top of things, just finishing Halo 3.
How's Fallout 3 going for you, Chris?
It's in a box.
Oh, it's in a box,
It's in
huh?
a
Have you
box.
started it? The
No,
Wasteland?
I wanted to treasure it. As soon as I'm
treasure
done, as soon as I'm done with Just Cause.
Just cause.
I'm gonna get.
As soon as I get done playing games I will actually enjoy.
Didn't you just beat Gun?
No, I beat that several months ago.
Well, it's only from 2005.
This is a clip of me playing Fallout 3 at the very beginning. All right, that's for Fallout.
I hate to break it to you. You've been playing Monkey Ball all along.
All right, really?
But back on topic about Killzone 2.
Yes.
The reviews. Have you
Taking
seen?
a break from blowing Microsoft.
Yes. Have you?
The thing is, that kind of talk is, we laugh about it, but it is really fucking offensive.
It is. It's ridiculous that people think that sites are biased. That's why you don't have a job reviewing games.
It's like, I'm 30, I'm married. Do you really think I give a shit about whether Microsoft or Sony wins this fucking console war?
Yeah. I have nothing at stake. I'll just tell you how it is.
I told people personally on the pod, I hate all these companies.
Yeah.
I only care about their games. Period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the system does not bother me. I said I love my PS3. I love my 360.
What I'm trying to get at here is the Killzone 2. Like this game, people will not let this controversy die. And right now,
it's amazing how
the big controversy right now is GameSpot UK has said they're not reviewing it yet, and neither is Destructoid
or Kotaku.
Because they say it's the multiplayer. The game isn't out yet. They can't review it based off multiplayer because there's only been 3 one-hour sessions with the press. Yeah. And how can you rate a game where you have a class-based multiplayer thing where you level up and you gain all these perks and all this stuff? How could you really review it? But the thing that gets me is everyone's now, of course, again throwing this around as a huge credibility argument. Now, I'm not calling out Destructoid. But I think this is very strongly worded and accusatory where it doesn't need to be. They actually say, Jim Sterling from Destructoid, I just think this is very powerfully worded. Too much of the games media appears to be in the pocket of the publishers, and that's not right at all. He can come on our own podcast and explain that. I would love to know.
Seriously, have you ever met anybody who's taken any money?
No,
we're the poorest motherfuckers.
I would love to have publishers' money.
I have only heard once ever of anything like that happening. It was a Rockstar PR rep telling me about something he'd heard about, where somebody from Acclaim apparently offered a journalist $50,000 to give a 10 to Turok Evolution.
He turned it down. He turned it down, and the PR person was fired. That was the closest it's ever come to this.
Yeah.
Shut your.
It's amazing that
it's a rare case that Sony. Sony does this a lot. That we get to review a game like a month before it comes out, not the week it comes out, 2 days before it comes out.
Yeah, they basically put up the date, in Killzone. We have these things called embargoes that say that the press can only write about something after a certain date, and we generally agree to it because it's in their best interest to keep things cordial with the publisher. And usually it's in place so that they can give exclusives to other people, but anyway. And in Killzone's case, it's coming out February, 23rd now, or 27th, and they said, okay, you can put up the review on February 2nd. And so everybody's going to put up the review. Yes. So if we don't, then nobody's going to pay attention.
And in my opinion, most of the sites who complain are kind of people, well, we don't really have time to do this review. Then I'd love to make a replacement article about the credibility of other sites. Multiplayer. I did kind of play several people in our office in Killzone. I have some idea how the multiplayer will work, given I custom
and immediately in the comments of this article that I'm reading, which the article is on Negative Gamer, which is referencing GameSpot and Destructoid. The comments are already like, if they knew how to read, they would know there's been a beta that people have spent many, many hours playing the beta. And Michael, you said you yourself leveled up in the game, playing through. It's like, did anyone, and someone else also points out that, did everyone play Call of Duty 4 to complete level 55 and become Masterclass before they wrote their review? Well, and I don't think anyone did.
Would you require your reviewer to do so?
That's the thing. How long do you think you really need to play multiplayer before you've got a firm grasp on what it is?
Also, no one is holding the multiplayer against it.
No.
As in, this is a fault. The game is at fault.
The only thing I say to knock the multiplayer, and of course everybody seized on this, is that after a while it kind of drags, and that's just because of the way it's set up. That you cycle through the match types one after another in a single map. Each one takes about 5 minutes, and if you're playing all 5 at a stretch, that's 25 minutes you're spending in the same map.
Yeah.
And while that's a lot more fun with other players than it is with, say, bots, it's still kind of after a while you just kind of want it to be over with so you can get your rewards and level up and go on to the next map. That's it. That's all I meant.
And it's just, I just don't like this idea of everyone again throwing out the credibility thing, oh, you reviewed it already. Yes, we spent. Yeah,
like everybody else.
I played the whole game. Bitch, I have trophies. Trophies for your coveted game, which I couldn't care less about.
What's really interesting to me? What's really interesting to me is okay. So the review embargo is about a month before release.
Yeah.
Obviously, in this way, Sony feels very strongly about the release. If you've been looking forward to this game for a while and you've read a lot of the stuff leading up to it, things have been pretty positive. The reviews are posted, and it seems like, I know $60 is a lot of money to spend, and if you spend a lot of money for the system, then you're going to be like, is this, worth it? It's been years. It's been 4 to 5 years, or however, 4 years, 3 years since we saw
It's 2006. So.
Yeah.
Or do you mean the Killzone trailer or the PS3 coming out? I'm confused now.
Both, roughly, whatever. And so, a lot of people are really looking to see why this justifies the purpose, or if this game justifies the purpose of purchasing the system. Based on that, anything between 80% to 100% of reviews, I would purchase the game outright. And since a number of games, I guess, are hitting around that 90% area, that's great. But now it looks like once the reviews are posted, everyone's nitpicking them for no good reason. It seems like you've already found your purchase, and
We make the argument all the time. This is the closest thing I've seen to a faith-based argument from a group of people.
Yeah, because most of them have not played the game at all.
Yeah.
To argue,
So it is faith-based at this point entirely.
It is literally faith-based.
But I think I was going to say the only time that I've ever seen this level of fervor and anger on internet arguments is over politics and religion. It's a fucking game, people.
Yeah, because my point is, it's no longer about the review of the game.
Exactly.
Obviously, the game is great. People are going to buy it. Now it's about the journalistic integrity of websites.
We start attacking the journalistic integrity, and I understand if you spend $600 on your PS3, you get a right to bitch and want that thing to succeed, so you can still be getting good games. And you also shouldn't bitch because you get great exclusives. I think better than 360. Another argument. Another take. Better exclusive. If you think of everything that 360 has as an exclusive, and the things PS3 has,
not anymore.
Not anymore.
Mass Effect 1. Let's be fair.
Not anymore. But like this year, like Metal Gear Solid 3, 4, Little Big Planet, Killzone, and then you got like Viva Pinata, and
Dude, I love Viva Pinata.
I'm not saying you don't have to. You can't love it.
The point is they're both fine systems to own.
I know, but
you don't
a lot of this is to defend.
Yeah,
their savior.
It is.
Like Killzone 2 didn't. I thought was pretty lackluster. Well, it died for your sins. Like that's all. That's all I hear. That's all I hear from you kids. You don't know what you're talking about. Like you saw a screenshot. They lied to you in their first video. Why are you defending this game? You have no idea what this game is.
Now you have footage on game trailers that you watch religiously. Go buy it. Who gives a shit? I don't buy it.
I don't want to get stuck on this. I mean, we've made our points.
I also want to talk about, we talk about, or I chose to talk about, in the Is It Better Than, which is a new feature that we're considering adding to all of our reviews.
I like it.
I do too.
I compare it to Halo 3 and Gears of War. And there are a couple reasons for this. First off, because a few people have picked on this, we don't review games in a vacuum. We're not a single-platform site, regardless of what some people might say. We're a multi-platform site. We don't, and I don't really see things as, oh, this is an Xbox game and this is a PS3 game, and never the twain shall meet. It's just separate camps. They don't talk to each other. You can't, like, I saw, I think it was official PlayStation Magazine Australia declaring Killzone 2 the best console shooter. So I don't think you can make a statement like that if you haven't played anything on the 360, or if you're not comparing it directly to anything on the 360.
If you're going to make a statement of that magnitude, you should pretty much have played every shooter ever.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to say, like, this is the best one ever, oh, I didn't play that one, though.
It's also like me, like, this is drastic, saying, well, this is a good movie on DVD, but not on VHS.
No. That literally is the same thing.
It in a VHS is several generations before. It's still the same good movie. We don't rate games like that. You moron, shut up! I'm sorry, Michael, continue.
But, yeah, no, I'm just defending that point. And, maybe I should have just compared it to PS3 games. Maybe we should have had Far Cry 2 in there.
No,
No.
Can
Sell
we
it.
judge between a great game and a fantastic game? I don't know. Holy shit! Can we? Can
I
we?
don't know.
Readers, whatever you view this medium
Let's
by.
not let. Oh, is it Gears of War 2 is in third person? That makes it a completely different game, even though they're both shooters. Yeah.
It's amazing that people take it that seriously. I know reviews are big business, and some of the things like the Structoid guy points out and GameSpot points out, people want to get their review up first. It's true, people do. They want to get the excitement of first review. However, that does not behold them to the publisher. We've had plenty of exclusive reviews in our time here at Games Radar. Not once in my writing has a publisher ever told me I couldn't say shit unless it was a plot spoiler. Don't say, for example, P. Tom's review gives away what I consider a serious plot spoiler for Resident Evil 5, which I don't even want to repeat, because I don't want to know that, and I do now. So, if you read P. Tom's...
You're right, that was the only time I ever got any correction was from Rockstar, you can't go inside the Statue of Happiness. I'm like, yes I can, I did. And just, don't say that, just don't say that. And alright, fine. And it was live on the site, and we were like, all right, fine, you can't go inside. And then, boom, we got a story inside the Statue of Happiness.
Yeah, we just posted a whole story just about going inside.
That.
I don't know. It's just this idea that it's just the idea that games journalists are this way. It just bothers me that this thing from Jim Sterling just kind of lumps everyone but Destructoid into that camp, and it's like, what?
It's like what EGM, what Dan Shu did when he called out the industry for taking money for exclusives and then didn't name any names, and that I think that was the genesis of this whole thought process that if they disagree with me they must be corrupt. They must be on the take.
Well, it's simultaneously gets them attention and galvanizes their stupid audience. This is the most credible website in the world.
Do you want to know how much?
You
want to know how much money, how much we're not bought off ever? Look at what we wear. Look at what we drive. Look at what we eat. Look at how much we work over video games, and then look at. I had a final point that was really touching. I can't remember.
Oh no! You know what? You want to get back to that break?
Let me think.
You tell me when you got it. I'm just gonna keep playing this song.
Oh, got it.
Rick, before he forgets.
And finally, look at all the just random stuff we sell. I'm getting rid of games and cutting cable. We all know the economy's a pile of shit right now, but we're so not paid off by anyone to say anything ever. It's ridiculous. It's a childish notion to say that.
If this helps our situation at all, which it won't. Publishers, if you would pay me to review your game highly, I'm in really big trouble right now. I would love
You
to do that.
actually are with the IRS.
Yeah. So I can pay the IRS off the money they claim I owe them. That would be very nice of you. I will review any animal game 10. Any animal game 10. Any Fear expansion 10. There's nowhere to go from here.
No, it's just when that Paws and Claws Animal Hospital 7 comes out.
I just need...
Just saying sometimes a payoff would be nice.
I need $3,000 to get the IRS by next Tuesday. And I'll give your game whatever it wants.
They're going to break his kneecaps. Alright?
Also, there's weird statements that people make. I've made in reaction to a couple of our reviews where it's like, I bet this would be lower if it wasn't on 360, or this is only so high because it's on 360 and PS3. It's like, who the fuck thinks like that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Who goes, this game is on 360 as well as PS3, so that means I'm going to score it high. Who is that stunted mentally? They would actually consciously make that decision.
Wow, he's angry. Look at him go.
Get him going.
It's so stupid.
Basically because PS3 is obviously the prettier system. My Xbox is more functional. I love my PS3 for what it does, but if I own those two consoles, the 360 works a little better for me. I'm saying the PS3 exclusives are fantastic. I have no idea where my point was. Forgot. Let's just cut that. Keep going. Keep going to something else. We gotta go to break.
That's enough.
Yeah. When we get back, we are going to bring up new releases news. Of course, some stupid sound shit.
Yes.
Asinine news stories, community stuff, and we're going to announce the winner to several contests. So hold on to your butts.
TalkRadar. It's about to burst with snacky happiness.
I'm going to GamesRadar.com.
Oh man. Oh no, what's good, baby? What up, man? Red man in the building, baby. Yes, sir. Let's go. Yeah. Ow. Yeah. Funk Doc up in the building. Yo. Oh no, it's in the building. Yeah. Hey, pass that. Break them down. Let's go. Yeah, break them down. Hey, where's your street fighters? We run the globe and fly just to get higher. Look, I'm like Cali Wind cause I blaze fire. The terrorizer right beside you. Sizing up them riders that think they can live up. Y'all ain't live up. Y'all chumps dead on the rival. I round house you soon as the sound goes. I go psycho, somatic, damn it, it's Michael. Automatic and damage your life. So if anybody wanna come test out the ox watch, I put a big star on your chest just like the got. Let my second hand grab you in the hot box and throw you all into the door looking for more knock. It's Doc knowing the phone Doc. Brick City, Ox City running the spot hot. For cap count, I'll cap all till they caps off. Cap them like a caption, the smash off. Get 'em. My crew don't fuck around, we'll lay you down. It can be any round. The clock is moving now, we'll lay you down. You can hear the sound. My crew don't fuck around, we'll lay you down. Now I'm hitting MCs like all you kid in the Cadillac where I rock my music. With an attitude, boy, I'm ruthless. All in the hood, baby, acting stupid. Boy, you're useless. I keep greener than Blanca. I lay 'em on their back to the clock. It's time. Oh, yeah. You wanna fight, then line up. It's like Terminator looking for O'Connor. It's not for minors. It's only for the pros. Oh, no, hit 'em high. Hey, yo, Doc, hit 'em low. I can smell beef when I walk through the door. That's why I carry the K like I'm solo. Yeah, bro. You want problems? I give it to you. And run back, tell your block what I did to you. Put your ear to it and get stumped out. Street fighter, boy, nobody pull guns out. My crew don't fuck around, we'll lay you down. It can be any round. The clock is moving now, we'll lay you down. You can hear the sound. My crew don't fuck around, we'll lay you down. Doc, oh no, in the motherfucking building. Let's get it.
Play to win all the time with the kind of cars winners have. Okay, my name's Bruce Kibbutz. How do winners roll? I'm talking automotive bling, baby. I'm talking rims made with fake spinning gemstones. I'm talking put your name in classy script on the hood. I'm talking about being original. Just like everyone else who can afford to be. I'm talking about taking a $250,000 sports car designed by world-class engineers and letting a guy from East Hook modify it so it's worth a lot less. That's right, a lot less. That's player style, baby. Because you can. Because you're different. Brucey's Executive Lifestyle Autos. Visit us on the web at bruceysexecutivelifestyleautos.com. Be genetically different, baby.
Alright, does anybody want to listen to the rest of this motherfucking podcast?
Yeah!
I almost shit my pants in the bathroom. What up?
37?
Yes, onward.
Just posted a review for MLB Front Office Manager.
Yes!
I'm guessing 7.
5!
Whoops.
Which, incidentally, I'm giving Rygar a 4.
We found a way to make baseball even more boring. Before we move on from Killzone 2, I just wanted to take a second and say thank you to the people who posted nice comments and who were supportive about the review, who at least appreciated it on its own merits without immediately screaming bias. We do read these comments, and I realize that you don't have to do that, that you're taking time out of your day to do that, and I just wanted to say how much I appreciate it. So, moving along.
You PS3 fanboys have scared the shit out of me. Like, I've never seen anything like that.
I have never seen such a unified movement to bully the press.
Me neither.
In my life. Not even working in the real in the real news media.
Like, if there's a PR person behind that, like, hats off. Like, that's...
Yeah.
These people scare the shit out of me.
Okay. 37?
Where's it from?
Clerks.
Oh, right, gotcha.
37 dicks.
Yes.
Suck.
Hey, we cannot say sucking dick.
To wrap your mouth around penis and apply pressure with lips.
I almost shit my pants in the bathroom. Like, when I was peeing and I felt the fart coming through, and I squeezed a little bit, and I felt birth. I started crowning.
So you came close to sharding then?
I did. Not sharding. I'm pretty sure this would have been a nice, solid corncob log.
They normally shouldn't come that fast. Please tell me we're not recording.
Nuts to this. We're going to get into new releases because they're so brief and short. Snowboard Riot on WiiWare. Hey, I think it's Mario Kart meets SSX. I don't know what you guys think.
The best rides in Suit.
WiiWare. R-Type Dimensions, Xbox Live
what
title.
Is that? An XBLA
It's
game?
R-Type 1 and 2, which adds in co-op and a different camera angle.
Wow, I love R-Type.
I looked at some UK reviews. It didn't get great reviews, but then I also...
Not the new camera angle?
I don't... Yes, it's bird's eye view. Unfortunately, the bird is in your propeller. It's very hard. Not funny. Got it. Dead bird jokes. That's a no-go. Anyways,
OXM gave it a 7.5, by the way.
Burnout Paradise, the Ultimate Box on PC.
Just got done getting over that game for 360.
And I tried to look into information. I'm like, oh wow, this is Burnout Paradise contains all the patches and downloads that we've had to pay for, or for free, in one single box for the PC. We're getting it for the first time. And I'm like, I'm going to find some reviews, and the game's not out, and of course, all the reviews. This game contains Sekiro. Yes, it contains Durham, DRM, and they know Likey, and I don't like either, so you know what? Don't pick it up. Have not at it.
Wow.
Fuck you guys.
We get Ultimate Shooting Collection for Wii.
Ultimate Shooting Collection. Oh. I thought that game came out 4 months ago, and I put it in my Ultimate box art feature. Games that use the word Ultimate in it. Turns out, around 80. Calm down. Ultimate Ninja, 1, 2, 3, and possibly 4. You're misusing the word Ultimate. But,
switch it up.
I don't know. Who had some news they wanted to get into this week?
It'd be so great if they released Penultimate Ninja.
10 Ultimate Ninja.
We're gonna have one more.
You know what that means? That means if they come out with like a PS4 collection of those Ultimate Ninjas, it's the Ultimate Ninja collection. Not funny.
No.
Reality.
But correct.
A reality.
Also out this week, Rygar.
Rigger!
Rygar Battle, which we mistakenly said was out last week. I thought it was too, but apparently it came out this week.
When did it originally come out?
Why, it originally came out fall of 2002.
A little more than 6 years ago.
Yep. And the PS2 one Rygar was a decent game. Was actually a good game.
I remember everybody like falling in love with it. Like I was like, yeah, this is okay.
I was a fan of Rygar on the NES.
Yeah.
And it hadn't had a game literally since the NES, and it was good. The PS2 one was good. It was pretty. Dialogue and cutscenes were kind of hokey, but I mean, the gameplay was decent. Actually, the gameplay at the time was very good. It's just hard to think of it now because since then, God of War has happened.
Yes.
Devil May Cry has evolved considerably. There are so many third-person action games, and Rygar is just a little too plodding, a little uninvolved. It's a game from 2002 that holds up then, but when you re-release it on Wii today, it cannot stand against them at all. And even the PS2 one, because I own both of them, and I just reviewed the Wii one. I think that review's up now. I gave it a 4.
A 4? Hold on, I need a dramatic cue.
Because
Christ.
Because as I was playing the PS2 one again with a regular controller, I was like, oh, this isn't that bad. It's just really archaic and kind of old. So even by today's standards, if I had to review Rygar, like, what about today? It'd still be like a 6. Mm-hmm. It's okay. It's very mediocre, but it's okay. But on Wii, the horrible motion controls, the just awful moving, like just the fact that
I saw you. I'm like, Brett, what are you waggling off at?
It's just it's a very poor mix of swinging and waggling and pushing buttons.
This is all I hear from my desk. Like this Brett going crazy.
There's just hardly anything added. But did you? And while I was reviewing it, the thing that immediately popped out was how bad the rumble is on the remote. The point I was like,
do you mean how good the rumble is?
I guess how good. If you are the one female listener and really want a free way to get your rocks off, play Rygar, put the Wii remote where it pleases you, and go to town because it's like they didn't know what to do. And playing the PS2 one, I checked. I actually loaded up my save and played through the PS2 one with the rumble, and guess what? It's fine. The Wii remote shakes out of control, and I posted a YouTube video. But we also isolated some sound. This is actual sound of the Wii remote vibrating.
It's a constant, steady, sounds like a wavering shake, like a barber's shears or something.
It does.
I say it twice in the video, but it is out of control. It is like they did not know. I don't know. Just turn it on the whole time. How's that?
It is a Mexican landscaper on airplane fuel.
That's all I got for Rygar.
Oh, no more rigor?
No, it's just.
What do you think is like? Because I want to think that most people listening to this with a Wii probably have a PS2. If they want to pick up Rygar,
I pointed out in the review the fact that. Did you notice Amazon still sells Rygar for PS2 for $30?
Granted, your aunt,
really?
her first console is the Wii.
Yeah.
But the rest of us probably own a PS2.
Yeah. Go if you want to play Rygar. If you just found out and are like, I think that looks interesting. Go buy the PS2.
Why did they change the lead character?
The character changing is totally arbitrary. Everything else in the game is identical. They just changed what was normally a very Roman, Greek Roman looking guy with his leather suit and normal crazy shield weapon, and then the new one is like Sephiroth gone Super Saiyan with crazy
old Goku.
And he looks ridiculous.
Was it really just that like you haven't played this game before?
Kind of. They're just like, well, we just thought it was time, remake the character.
You reskin the hero. What do you want? This is
and I watched the cutscenes again. They're the same. And the voice is the same. They didn't pay the voice actor again. They just re-released the damn thing again. They just replaced the model, and it doesn't fit. When you look at this guy draped in black and white with crazy Goku hair next to, say, Zeus.
That guy.
Not Zeus in this case, but just next to all this other Greek mythology.
I am mighty Zeus.
No.
Wow, enough with Rygar.
Enough Rygar. I read something on Destructoid that really made me smile in a good way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was this just a personal anecdote over how games help this guy overcome being bullied.
Oh yeah.
And I can't really go into that.
Not a school shooting.
No. It was just he was bullied by these guys. He's reading the EGM, and the bully comes up and like, what did Metal Gear get this week in 1998? It's like 10, and goes back like, really? How do they justify that? And they strike up a conversation. Well, and some stupid article that I'm not that proud of, but the reasons why it's okay for kids to play GTA. It's part of the reason is because studies have shown that games at this point defy peer groups.
Yeah,
and transcend people and bond people together who wouldn't normally talk. And this includes someone who's been bullied by their entire life by this one person. Probably had this in common. And he not only brought him into the fold, but brought him around the other people who had been bullying them to talk at lunch about Metal Gear specifically.
Makes sense. Because all through grade school and part of junior high, it was not cool to play games. Games were, that's meaning that would be late 80s, early 90s.
You know, it was. And when you found someone you could talk games with, you kind of held that. Yeah. There was a special bond back then.
Yeah. It was cool, like, in first and second grade. Like, everyone wanted a Nintendo. Then it was cool. Like, who had the most games? Who knew the most about it? Whatever.
And then other kids, you started talking about it, and they were like, "Who cares about that?"
Yeah, when you got to like 6th grade or like being 12, 13, there was a movement. Everyone obviously is getting interested in other shit. And yes, or guys, there are girls.
Or guys. Gaming?
Yeah,
Really?
or sports or whatever their other interest became, and that's where you start to get that social class of you're the jock, you're the geek, you're the whatever. But then around high school, like around the time of PlayStation getting big and GoldenEye and all these games, it just ceased to matter, and games were popular. And if you knew about games, like the same guy who made fun of me for liking Sonic and Knuckles in 8th grade was like, so is GoldenEye going to come out on PlayStation, or is that just been 60? Like, genuinely concerned. Like, actually, like, what can you tell me? Like, what's the equivalent? Like, I need to know. And now we're friends. Well, not anymore, but I mean, I didn't talk to that. But at the time, it totally removed that barrier that was there.
It's still really funny because the way he made it sound, it brought a social change in his high school. He became known as the game guy, but the cool game guy who could people if they had a game question, they'd ask him. And I kind of was that guy in my school. I think you make it sound like you were the approachable game guy. Like you're not going to slobber in his face and talk about.
Right. No, there was a large clique of us. So I mean,
no, not with me. Like I was the guy who, because everybody else got to play everything and I didn't. So I wanted to make sure it was just one of those things I was fascinated to read and talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I probably kept up with it more than anyone else in my group. But I mean, we had a rather large contingent of. We have this new system.
And if you ask again how you become an editor at Games Radar, there you go. Become a social outcast. Find your way back to society.
The answer is play everything.
Play everything. Play everything.
And moving right along.
Hey.
Time to get moving.
Time to get moving.
Excellent.
Nice.
Amalgam of what? Blastcore, Hanna-Barbera,
and Smash TV.
Smash TV, right. Podcast 20, which to this day is still my favorite podcast, we talked about the cheesiest video game songs. We brought up Swing Time.
Swing Time.
From Spider-Man. Yes. That's it, you got it.
Done.
All right. We brought up
Swing Time!
Sega CD.
Wait. What was the line?
Flying for Justice.
Flying for Justice.
Stung by a force to protect the common man.
Take no prisoners, which means Spider-Man now has to kill people.
That guy.
The whole song is Mr. Big. Go listen to the podcast.
Swing Time, put some pants on.
Anyway, bring on the big guns. Anyway, that game also had, for Sega CD, or Mega CD, if you're it had a lot of animated cutscenes. But it looked like MS Paint. I swear it did. With over exaggerated like mouths that go like, "What are you, Spider-Man? How did you?" And I recorded this clip because it's an indication of how silly the plot is. Of just like, I guess this moves the story along, and also just how bad the dialogue is, and how the voice actor I think is the same person. I think it's Cam Clark in every role, disguising his voice to varying degrees.
Yes, if you ever seen the one-man Star Wars show, that's pretty much what Spider-Man on Sega CD was.
Yeah, and just what happens at the end, it's like them telling the voice actor for the Lizard, just scream like you're being eviscerated. I don't know, just go nuts.
No.
And he's screaming out of control, and then Spider-Man's reaction to that because they can only load one sound file at a time. It makes me laugh every time.
You ready?
And by the way, this is Spider-Man talking to the Lizard after he's reverted back to Kurt Connors, which is his human form.
The pedophile from Happiness. Got it.
I'm sorry, Kurt. I know you can't help the awful chemical reaction that keeps turning you into the Lizard, and you can't help what you do when you transform, but I had to stop you.
Is that Spider-Man?
Is Spider-Man like 60?
Yeah.
So then he transforms back into the Kurt Connors.
I know you can't help the evil of what you do. I'm Spider-Man. I speak for the trees.
Take this world original with you.
Kurt, are you okay?
Eh.
Where am I? What am I doing here? Spider-Man. What's going on? It's a long story, Kurt. You might say I ran into you while I was looking for something down here.
You might say
that. Yeah. Spider-Man. Will the shenanigans ever end?
All right.
Could this be the key?
the unicorn key.
He's like, could this be the key? He pulls a key out of his pocket.
I'm so glad that's what happened because I honestly thought it was a rainbow wipe to the next scene.
No, it's he pulls out a key and it makes that sound like this was in my pocket.
Be the key? Where did that come from? I don't know. I never saw it before. Well, here, you take it. Thanks, Kurt. This will help me clobber the Kingpin. What's happening to me?
Jesus! Oh my God!
Wait, no.
I know.
Wind it back and do the scream again and listen to Spider-Man.
I gotta say, this music sounds like Lost Vikings or something.
It's like
I could see chilling to this like in a game by Accolade that was focused mainly on puzzles.
It's such like as we've said, the main music of the game is ripping guitars, and the cutscene music is always this.
It sounds like PowerPoint-ish, like how the Weather Channel used to work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be partly cloudy.
I love Weather Channel music. Don't get me started.
What is happening to it?
Right. To be fair, he is turning back into a lizard.
So what? How bad can that hurt?
Excuse me, muscle fucked.
He's being muscle fucked by Tyrannosaur.
Let's get without laughing and listen to Spider.
No, we can't. It's hard.
All right. Let's see if we can get through it without laughing. We'll try it one more time. Then I'm ending the podcast.
No, he's the lizard again.
Oh my God! Is there a YouTube with that cutscene?
Oh dear! It's the lizard.
By the way, that's going to go in the forum thread for Podcast 37.
Oh my
You
God.
got to come see it
Keep
here.
in mind, that's about 4 minutes into the clip.
Okay.
But that clip is a good indication of the rocking ass music that's happening while Spider-Man punches rats in the face. I love that game, but it's so it's like no one playing it today would enjoy it at all. That's like most of my 7th grade though. It was so much fun. What's great is that game's dialogue is that bad everywhere. We could turn that into a weekly bit easily.
The only thing else I have in news story, so I don't even want to talk about this because it depresses me.
Oh, I did have news.
So what it is, EA posts $641 million in losses, cut 1,100 jobs, including most of Black Box, who just made Skate 2, which is...
How many days after release? 2 days.
2.
Appropriate enough? It's 2 days.
Good job. Go home.
Well, it's better than Ensemble Studios, who knows they have to finish Halo Wars and then GTFO.
Get the fuck out. Yeah, that's bad. Only because, and I'm not being doom and gloom, but we are game editors who cover game information. When you cut 1,100 game jobs, I believe that translates to one of us.
Yeah.
1,100 game jobs to one editor. It's not a horrifying scenario. Enjoy us while we last.
Yeah, if that keeps up, there'll be some serious shakedown.
See you on Rebel FM.
Woo!
They're being fired.
Henry sent that to
That's
me.
a lie. They'd never let us on
I
there.
felt
There is a piece of news in that that affects us more or less directly. In the EA, that's the thing. It comes not necessarily as part of EA's cuts, but as part of the news in which those cuts were released to the press. Is that Godfather 2 is, which was supposed to be released in like 3 weeks, is being pushed back into 2010.
1, 2, or 3, Michael.
3. 2. Appropriate. It's being pushed back into 2010, allegedly so that they can build buzz for the game. Although I think if it were me, I would delay it to make it look not crappy. But
I would delay it to take out its main mechanic of RTS.
Yeah. But there's a secret that we've been holding on to for a long time, and I guess now that it's over, we can come out with it. And that a rep from EA contacted us several months ago, saying, we have this thing that we sometimes do where we've got like a ton of NPCs in The Godfather 2, and we can name them. We can name one of them after you or somebody or you can basically name one of our NPCs. So we discussed it very briefly and immediately decided that someone in The Godfather 2 needed to be named Duke Lombardi. And we submitted that to them. And I just heard today that the guy was saying, no, I was too late with the information and that won't happen.
By the way, that was the surprise information we teased a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
That Duke Lombardi was a featured character in Godfather 2.
What's great is they weren't gonna let Chris record. Let the Duke record dialogue.
You need a gun?
I would have been happy if it had just been a fat guy with a mustache.
I lost my sword. If you can find it,
You can find it. The Corleones would have my whatever.
Good God!
Gratitude, I guess. Animal Crossing.
Is that a horse's head?
Oh, Buttercup! Who would do that to a horse? Anyway, defeat 10 Italians to drop the spirit barrier.
Hey there, new recruit. I'm here to tell you that the left stick moves you straight. Pull the right trigger for turbo.
Use the right stick to move the camera.
Which I was really hoping that he would be named
X to hit me.
and his name would be Duke Lombardi, and he would be like a thin child or something. Well, even little Duke here's he's starving to death because of these gangsters. Hey, I'm Duke Lombardi.
Yeah. More than likely, it would have just been a random passerby because they all have names in that game, or it would have been like a shopkeeper who you had to rough up in order to take over their business. Yeah. Whatever.
Now the game is dead, so what's it matter?
Exactly.
I really do imagine.
Can you imagine?
It's not dead. To be fair.
Can you imagine a year from now going, so Godfather 2 again?
If it is substantially better than what it is now, then yes.
They're not going to build word of mouth via this maneuver anyway.
That just strikes me as dumb. If anything, the people who are waiting for it are gonna be angry. So it had better be, because they said, yeah, we realized it looks kind of like a first-gen 360 game, and maybe we should fix that.
Well, it's good. I mean, a lot of EA news came out this week about Dead Space for Wii.
Yeah.
Wow. I actually haven't even seen that yet.
Nobody has, I don't think.
I mean, there wasn't a screen, or I haven't seen it.
No, this was all at the EA's Q3 conference call, talking about their fiscal quarter.
Dead Space for Wii.
Yeah.
Mass Effect multi-platform.
Mass Effect multi-platform. There you go.
Do those platforms include Wii? Because I think I would actually play that.
Really?
Can you imagine a game like KOTOR or Mass Effect on Wii?
I don't want to live in that world.
Please don't make me.
A game that could actually be played with those controls, sort of.
How?
Well, I'm just saying that the controls are kind of awful.
Micah Raparez sticks it to the man.
Yeah. Oh, that was the wrong noise.
That
was That was the wrong Parras noise.
The wrong noise. Let me see. I will give you a new one. That is a Micah Raparez sticks it to the man.
Oh, really quick. That's That sound effect last podcast 36, ended in the most drunken debacle I've ever heard. It sounds like it's about to fall apart at any second and ends, I think, right before chickens run into the room and everything turns into a farm. And I was at their controls because Chris had to leave for whatever reason.
No, because your mic wouldn't work, and you.
Yeah, there was a point at which we're supposed to tease what was coming up for the following week, and I go, Michael, what's next? And you can hear for a split second that dolphin sound effect because I was just power mad and pushing every button. I'm like, so Mike, and you hear just really quick.
Well, it's something I was working very hard on.
God, it made me laugh. I had a really fun time.
I actually have a clip of an interaction between Michael and Tyler. Tyler was the drunkest I've ever seen him, let alone to be recording a very, very professional podcast. This is Michael and Tyler talking.
Well, longevity,
I'm gonna fucking kick your fucking ass. You don't shut up for a second, alright?
Christopher Walken.
Ow!
I want you off the fucking set, you prick!
Yeah, hopefully that won't happen anymore. That was. I don't know who invited Christian Bale onto the set of the podcast.
Did you put that together, Chris?
Wait, who said that?
Me? Shane?
Why the fuck is Shane walking in there?
If you haven't seen that, go
I
look
guess
that
I
up.
should be thankful. This is the only time anyone will ever cast Christian Bale as me.
Another piece of quick news is the fact that apparently Activision and LucasArts are going back to E3 this year, which is a sign that maybe this year's E3 will not be the soul-crushing job, like, I'm thinking of a new line of work moment of last year's.
I had this in a sound effect. E3.
Oh my god, it was terrible. Listen to your podcast 10, children.
Podcast 10. It's a whole lot of... Yeah, there you go.
It's bad. Because last year Activision wasn't there at all, and it was just...
They were there. They were just in a separate building.
Yeah, it was so stupid.
It was so stupid. And, like, I don't know. Whatever.
Maybe we'll go this year. Who knows?
If you want to get hyped up about it and get all crazy, then fine. But everything we saw at E3 last year, we'd seen months and months and months ago. There was nothing new announced outside of certain press conferences.
Outside of Wii Music, which was basically confirming a game they announced 2 years before.
They announced 2 years ago. They announced, in my opinion, it was Netflix and Final Fantasy on.
Yeah, basically that was the whole E3. And
Chinatown Wars. They released the beautiful logo.
They showed a logo.
And us discovering how much attention playing any way you want it in Rock Band 2 gets you. The entire show floor of E3 stops, and every camera in the room. Wow, look! And now that's old news. Anything else? Before we go into
our... we had mentioned that Capcom is going to have Street Fighter characters in Home.
Who gives a shit?
And they look so boring. Congratulations, you.
Only Home could make Street Fighter characters look boring.
We'll probably embed the image in the article, in the TalkRadar 37 article.
We will. And before I move, just so I don't get yelled at anymore, people keep asking for the Street Fighter rap. Not going to happen.
Nope.
Until I get some clearance, but just in the break, I have some requested Redman layout Street Fighter song and Lil Shoto's amazing hip hop guide to playing as Chun-Li.
It's really bizarre.
That'll be played next break. Redman was before, but I have Street Fighter characters in Home, and even they look bored. They look so bored. But here's what can hype it up: website gameplayers.com.au.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think makes them a part of the Afghanistan Union, has discovered. I just hadn't heard about this because I haven't played with Home since the beta. Pedophiles on Home.
They discovered them, huh?
He was playing as a woman or a girl or something like that, and some guy approached him and was like, "Hey!" and like dancing in front. What's going on? His name was Jed. And how old are you? And he's like, well, I'm going to whip out my journalistic muscle and just lie. I am 15. Hey, want to cam up and get nude? Want to show me that snatch?
Cam up?
Cam up, bitch. Cam up. I want that. Insert that camera. I want a close-up perspective.
Oh. And this wasn't for BD Live.
But apparently there's... No.
Thank you.
Apparently there's like this black-shirted, bald... home fairy that comes out to mediate such things. And,
Chunky Salsa shows up?
His name is Tingle.
He just came out, bam, and then whisked the pedophile away because they're watching the whole time.
That's worth replicating.
But then, like he said, also that was my sister playing, and now he's hassling my PSN account. It didn't get rid of any of that, so I thought pedophiles in home was pretty interesting. Holy shit! Did everybody see this? Last week we were making fun of television's depiction of video games,
and some hilarious John Goodman jokes.
We opened with that sketch. The DS is also making your children susceptible to record scratch child molesters.
Yes, the DS is a tool for the pedophile.
I love that. If you listen to that news quote, it's in the first quote of the podcast. Game gurus say. The game guru? That's Reggie Fils-Aimé. You allowed the person who's hawking the system and referred to him as a game guru.
That's just a total lack of respect. It's like, he's the president of Nintendo of America, and you called him the game guru.
The game guru.
Yeah. Well, the American guru Obama says, like, you give some credit, you assholes.
Presidential guru.
Well, that's the thing. The people in the mainstream news media, anyone who knows anything about games is a game guru. I mean, the 15-year-old kid down the street is a game guru, which is why they'll talk to him as the voice of the game industry and anything that has to do with Grand Theft Auto.
That is true.
Also, they say it because news loves alliteration.
As a vocal, one of the few people back in the day was vocal, honest about loving games. Weird people came to me for like thesis reports. You're an expert. Not. Like, I'm just the only person who will admit to reading EGM and playing every game. Like, I'm not an expert. But I got to be quoted in several things, including a BBC article, which made the only two.
Which referred to you as female, incidentally. Even though there's video of you being interviewed within that article.
There's video of me as a boy.
That was so. It was great as me watching that unfold. I'm holding all the.
Yeah, I almost thought you had something to do with it. The way you were like, you wouldn't participate at all. Like, no, you do that shit. I'm taking a picture of you.
Secret E3 diary.
I forgot you were standing right there. Like, oh yeah, dude.
I am right off camera going.
Here's why I love the news and dealing with video games.
October, we told you about Fisher-Price's Cuddle and Coo doll with an apparent hidden message. It said, Islam is the light.
Well, now the phrase seems to have been found again, hidden in another popular children's toy.
News 10's Jessica Hayes spoke exclusively with the local mother who made that discovery.
Oh no.
I know where this is going.
All right, then you're going to know this next clip.
Months ago, Rachel Jones was shocked to discover her 4-year-old's baby doll seemed to have a hidden message.
What did it say? What do you guys think it said? Who hasn't heard the clip before?
Well, now that they're preloading it with Islam is the way, I hear that.
The light.
Imagine her surprise when a game for her 8-year-old daughter's Nintendo DS had the same message.
Which makes me happy because I realize these news people don't have a nitro capture station.
When a game for her 8-year-old daughter's Nintendo DS is the name of the game, apparently. If you don't know fuck about shit.
It's Baby Pals. I could be wrong, but you know what? It won't matter. It'll still help their sales. One of them baby games.
Rachel said she bought this Nintendo game, Baby Pals, as a gift for her 8-year-old daughter after a good report card. She had no idea that the game also contained the hidden message, Islam is the light.
I love the fact that the mainstream, quote, credible news sources can call it a Nintendo game. If I said the Nintendo game Baby Pals, I would be flamed by fanboys saying, well, actually, it's neither published nor developed by Nintendo.
Exactly.
We're the shitty games journalists.
And they're held to different standards, though. I mean, these people could say fucking Sega tape. And
Sega tape.
And nobody would call them on it.
I was going to say, did this make you more mad? Let me see if I can find
it. Found again, hidden in another popular children's toy.
Another popular children's toy.
Oh, you mean the one that's sold however many millions of units worldwide to adults?
What's that, 80 million babies? Kids? 80 million babies and kids playing.
Is that
Nintendo
what
DS.
Nicole Kidman was selling in those ads when she appeared with
Yes.
it?
I'm sorry that your ignorant ass doesn't understand that people besides your daughter are playing video games.
This is the
Yes,
worst.
go to hell!
It's the worst news segment I've ever heard. Like, I've never seen anything that constituted less reporting.
You should watch more local news then.
I guess so.
You just watched the clip about the leprechaun in Alabama.
You see the leprechaun say, "Yeah,
I'm having that gold. I want motherfucking gold. Gold is mine.
gold."
Must be a crackhead or something.
The artist's representation of the leprechaun.
You should have said, because the artist representation looked like a Lucky Charms marshmallow.
On college-ruled paper.
Now, we're not being racist. These are verbatim.
No, I grew up with like an hour away from where that was filmed. I'm allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
That leprechaun clip is on YouTube is really funny. It's on par with "They're just for decoration."
I don't know what that is.
That's Bub Rub.
Bob Rob.
You know,
Let's just go. Woo, woo.
All right.
All right. Another
Enough of your old memes.
Another clip.
We were sitting in the kitchen and she was playing it, and
This dummy, this idiot, this horrible person keeps alerting the news to things she pretends to hear. I'm sorry.
we were sitting in the kitchen and she was playing it, and all of a sudden she looked at me and I looked at her and she said, "Mom, I think my baby said something." And so I played it back. It says, "Islam is the light."
The messages sound exactly the same.
Here's why they sound exactly the fucking same, is because I went to the trouble with one Google search to find the sound effect that the news, people who get paid triple what I do to find this. Does that sound like Islam is the light?
Kind of at the end there.
No.
When they make you, when they already say, "Does this sound like this?" and then they play it, yes, of course it
infuriates me.
Yeah,
Because
it's like, this cloud looks like a rabbit. Wouldn't you agree?
But we were talking about faith before, and
I just love the idea that they're going to get us through them Nintendos. That means the Japanese are in on it.
there's so many
Japanese Muslims. Oh my God!
there's so many things that make me mad about this clip.
As someone with a news background, I understand. Like, I constantly had to fend off that kind of bullshit. Luckily, they knew that was my thing, and my news station did not do shit like that, because they would ask me, "Is this correct?" God damn it! No, that's not correct. What? Well, like, I was there when San Andreas came out, so naturally cue the questions, and I'm like, "No! Who told you this?" And
Just like the questions were all like, is it true the Loch Ness Monster's in this game?
No!
Basically, they're like, "Is this coming out on GameCube?" No! God damn it!
What are we talking about? Here's another infuriating statement.
The Nintendo game has an E rating, which means it's suitable for any age.
Oh, gosh.
Technically.
That research me look on box back.
Yeah, because a Muslim reference designates a game as a teen rating.
Well, don't you know, Chris, all the Muslims are evil? They're all trying to kill us. Muslim is the religion of terrorists.
Oh my
There's
God.
one in the White House!
Even if they were,
Everybody panic!
the term Muslim is the light. It's like if I walk into Islam is the light. If I ran into a synagogue screaming, "Jesus is Lord," everybody would look at me like I was an idiot, because it only means anything to me. Not spreading the religion. That's on top of not being. It's not saying Islam is
On
the
top
light.
of the fact it's not saying that.
It's not saying that at all. Like
it reeks of like really like 2003 mindset of they're gonna get us. They're gonna get us in the letters, and they're gonna get us into school, and they're gonna get us there. Our life is over.
An alarming number of people are still stuck in that mindset, Brett.
Let me play the last clip and then.
Joan says she's angry. This is the second toy she's had to take from her.
The second toy. You think maybe the problem is you?
Children.
She's had to take from her children because, God damn it, this is America. What the hell's this religious tolerance bullshit?
I didn't buy no Farrakhan toy.
Her children.
Not just my daughter's toys, but we have a son too. You know, now I feel like I need to.
He's in danger from minorly construed Muslim misunderstandings.
It's in God we trust or nothing at all.
System is Aladdin getting to go join the madrasa. He got to swing on the monkey bars like a Al Qaeda.
Oh, son of mine's gonna blow himself up.
Not unless it's for the sovereignty of his state.
Come here, Apple Pie Stevenson. Get ready for the coup.
Apple pie Hitler Stevenson. Get over here,
Get over here, Aryan Nation Johnson. Wait, you're being taken from me. What? Child services. And kids, this is all timely.
Wow.
There were many on-topic references in that.
We are Captain McNutty Pants tonight.
I just realized I'm sitting like this.
While you correct your seating, let me
It's
just.
just how I ended up after laughing that hard. I came to and I'm like, how did this happen?
Wow, that's just what I need.
Fucking
scenario doesn't come together. And here's the last bit of the clip.
Listen to all of his little toys to make sure they're not saying it. It still shocks me to think about. I'm like, I can't believe it.
You can decide for yourself whether to buy this toy for your child.
God.
Decide for yourself. Okay, are people. That's real boogeyman shit.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Oh, God damn it. As Michael can probably relate to this, as people who went through 4 years of goddamn journalism school, to hear that is literally painful.
But that's what I realized from looking at journalism. They did everything to cover their own ass, to not really say anything.
They didn't actually report anything.
It would have taken them 1 second.
They didn't talk to any representatives from
No,
the company.
No. There was not.
Rule number one.
Yeah, the first hour of your first journalism classes present both sides, or if not both, every side to the argument. Otherwise, you're not reporting. You're just
fearmonger.
This lady told me that happened, so I'm gonna say it too. Like you're not reporting anything.
Islam is the light. Like how? Okay, this is a threat. Okay, now I'm back. I'm in her mindset. This is a problem. This is a threat. How flimsy is your faith that a talking doll or baby game from Ubisoft could convert your child to another religion, and you have to be scared?
Well, what you have to understand, Chris, is that people like this kind of see Muslims as like the ghost from Poltergeist. Where it's gonna animate the doll, and the doll's gonna try to kill your family.
I was gonna say, I think they
bite a big chunk in him.
They see Islam as something out of a Tool video, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna take Carol in. She's in the TV.
I just think anybody trying to find Muslim subliminal messages in anything is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Islam is the best religion.
Anyway, moving on. Moving on to the rest of our podcast.
That was not subliminal at all.
What are you talking about?
That was very liminal.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Being Muslim is fun.
I have no idea.
I swear, did you guys hear that? It sounded like being Islam is fun.
I didn't hear.
Clattering of glass pants?
I didn't hear any of that. There's nobody looking around.
Pray to Allah, douchebag.
No.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. I mean, obviously, we have a lot of.
Islam is the best religion.
I'm not quite sure if we can get into it, given all the things that are going on.
Being Muslim is fun.
But when we get back, we're going to have a nice community segment.
Christianity makes my tummy hurt.
Oh, wow.
When we get back, we have a lovely community segment, and we'll announce the winner to some contest. Brett, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
Pray to Allah, douchebag.
Thank you, Brett.
ngi jooy dellu jooy mama rakk sama dem nooy ay Mamadou ay Awa Sofiato sigil leen di gaale
TalkRadar.
So fast your tits will shoot out your back.
Blast it, Malamars. My tits are back!
Go to GamesRadar.com.
One low short into EX legs. Two low shorts into EX legs. Three low shorts into EX legs. And combo that into Ultra. This girl is so fine. The range on her pokes make it one of a kind. Link a standing fierce from a low jab. And mix it up cause Chun-Li has disgusting range on her grab. But the EX legs is quite enough. And don't waste your meter on a super and stuff. EX spinning bird is a good wake up. But if their kick is too deep, it just might get stuffed. Yeah, double fierce is really great. And when they get hit, it puts them in a juggle state. Juggle with EX legs. Juggle with EX bird. Juggle with Ultra. Don't pretend you haven't heard. But Chun-Li has a damage handicap. But it don't mean that she can't give them the bitch slap. One low short into EX legs. Two low shorts into EX legs. Three low shorts into EX legs. And combo that into Ultra.
Coming back in with a new third segment to the 37th podcast. Yeah, but anyway,
Being Muslim is fun.
Not funny anymore.
The moment is over.
Damn it. All right. What was on Rock Band this week? A bunch of live Thin Lizzy stuff.
Ugh.
And Nico, but luckily we have a little Pretenders to get us through the times, to get us through the hard times. Pretenders, precious, get it, good, love it, live it, play it. Exchange your Microsoft Deca points for it.
We did.
Yes. Yes.
I've been bought off with Rock Band DLC. And I did just say Rock Band DLC.
That would actually be an interesting game. Rock Band.
Maroc Band? Samba de Maroc Band?
It could be maracas, it could be Morocco. It could be Moroccan music.
It could be in Morocco. It could be Casablanca.
Casablanca, yeah. Thank you.
It could be what's the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie? Forever Monaco?
What movie is the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie that he plays a gay ninja?
No, Gay Karate Man.
Gay Karate Man.
And that is Monaco Forever.
Put at the top of your Netflix list. It's a Michael Raparez must-buy.
Don't drag me into this bullshit.
I'm sorry, Michael Raparez said to buy it. Everybody.
I didn't say to buy it, I said Islam is the light.
Before we get on with the community segment, let's announce some wieners.
Yeah.
Some winners. And the DS contest that we've been teasing for some time. the stickers ads. I put a bunch of the sticker stuff up on the MySpace page. I've been updating the TalkRadar MySpace page at myspace.com/TalkRadar. Blah blah blah. Yeah, you can go there. You can go there and see all the art that everybody's made, the fan art, and the stickers. We sent everybody out stickers and do something creative with them. And I really couldn't judge it when it came down to it, so I let completely impartial judges who are not in this room pick the wieners. Don't laugh at me, Shane. Pick the wieners, and for I don't have my drum roll. You know what? Fine. The grand prize wiener of the Nintendo DS, Onyx Black, men from Strangers with Candy. No one? Fine.
So wait, BHT just won the sticker prize.
BHT just won the DS Lite for the sticker portion of the contest.
All right.
For the video contest, and please don't get mad at me. I had nothing to do with this. I couldn't judge it. Leap of Faith by... Fuck. Leap of Faith. We'll look it up later. The guy who did the Leap of Faith video, which was fake stunt video incorporating like Games Radar and podcast mention. People were very happy with that. So congratulations to you. But we also have to decide. Is everybody ready? Everybody listen up. Who's talking?
Me.
Not Michael?
Am I talking?
He's wide awake. Shane?
Morning.
There he is. Go to the forums and go to the sitcom contest thread. Go now!
That's where I'm at right now.
Go now!
Yeah?
Cock in the block.
Which one of those pictures do you like the best? Yes, it won't work. Actually, we have 3 prizes. Actually, we've decided we're going to judge the sitcom pictures next week. Brett Elston, did we get new iTunes reviews?
We did get some new iTunes reviews. We're at 198. Whoever is the 200th iTunes review, I will clap for you.
Really? That's a really good incentive.
We for a while we were at a 4.5-star rating because some guy jumped on, and we haven't talked about this yet on the podcast because it happened late last week.
We haven't. I told Cheese33 I'd mention him.
Apparently, people thought we didn't give credit to Mega64 in podcast 35.
Well, because they said we didn't.
Because they said in their podcast that we didn't when we did, and there's a specific timestamp given in a thread because people immediately came to our defense. Thank you, everyone who posted in that thread.
Thank you.
I'm glad someone was paying attention because people apparently were not. That Chris actually did say this is from Mega 64. It's a story. It's a metaphor about EGM. Whatever it was you said, you did. However, it's true. It was not preceded directly with this is Mega. But whatever. Last week
they clearly were informed about it and had never listened to podcasts because really, would you listen to as I'm talking to you guys here in the community segment as listeners of this podcast? Would you assume we take credit for everything we play during the break?
I would hope not.
Like when you hear Seth MacFarlane or possibly Bart Simpson, do you think we're taking credit?
Yeah.
No.
And check the article page on the site, which is the home of this podcast.
There you go. Which most of you.
Which, Michael then last week put it in. Again.
Yeah.
It's be like, here it is. This is Mega 64. We never ever tried to pass it off as our own.
Is that a Raparos correction?
Well, it kind of is. It should have been in the first one, except nobody told me while I was writing it.
I got it.
That it was going in.
But anyway, somebody gave... I don't have the... Because I'm using Chris's laptop for this, so I don't have iTunes open. I don't know the name of the person, but they gave us a 1-star review that simply said, shitty podcast. They didn't give any reference to Mega 64. So our whole
for fuck's sake.
So our
Thanks
whole
for listening.
podcast sucks because you can't do any research. That 1-star review, that's for you. That's for you not doing any research.
Thanks for ruining our whole podcast by posting on hearsay. That's
wonderful. However, reviews since then have gotten us back up to a 5-star rating.
Yeah, Marshall109 says, I've been listening to TR now for a long time now, and this is the best video game podcast that you can listen to. TR has the unique trait of actually being funny. The constant cursing will keep you entertained, while the many sound effects will add to the hilarity. I don't even think we use a lot of sound effects.
Islam is the best religion.
And I have no real complaint with TalkRadar, but it always seems like they spend more time discussing old retro games than new ones. Besides that, TR is a great podcast that will entertain and inform.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And moving into the question of the week, last week's question was question 20, which was...
What is your least favorite game in your favorite series?
Yes, which was submitted to us by Phazon117.
Attaboy, Phazon.
I liked a lot of the responses. It's amazing how many people, like, the same games kept coming up. I saw Final Fantasy X-2 a lot.
That was an abomination.
I'm glad you think so. I saw, strangely enough, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel came up many times. I don't know anything about that game, but everybody really ragged on it.
It was,
I think that was
taken
like
on by a different developer.
It was like the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance of Fallout. Basically, it was an action game, isometric, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Action RPG.
They apparently make jokes about it in later games, and it's the bastard child. I'm surprised we have people that weathered.
More than one person mentioned Toe Jam and Earl 2.
Yeah, I really jumped the shark with that second entry.
Well, there was a third, to be fair.
That's true.
But my favorite were games I had actually forgotten about and kind of embody this bullshit. Are Jack X and Ratchet Deadlocked?
Yeah.
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 Well, Jack X wasn't that bad. It wasn't as outstanding as the other games.
No. I think you have to go play it with the Rygar goggles.
No, I just played it when it came out.
Any game, that's the problem with Rygar. Like, if you're going to re-release a game from like pre-2005, re-release it today unaltered, it really have better been a completely solid game. Like Banjo-Kazooie, 1998. Couldn't believe how much I was still enjoying it playing it on XBLA last year.
I did. Again, it's the only time Brett and I have high-fived like ever in our lives. Like we played Banjo-Kazooie all weekend. Fuck yeah! I got 98 musical notes in the ice world. Like,
Breezy kicking your ass! But yeah, our answers to question 20 were in last week's podcast. You should listen to it if you probably have already. This week's question, it came the wrong way. It came in the forum PM, not the GR messaging system on the main site, like I have asked, I think, 3 times now.
Is that appropriate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's what I want. I keep getting
you get users.
I keep getting PMs in the forum, and I'm like, I don't like seeing that private message highlighted. I don't like it.
It takes so long.
It takes a long time to load. I'm fine getting PMs in general, but like for the question of the week, please send them all to my Games Radar Brett Elston file on the main GR site. However, this question I thought was fun to answer from. It's a user that used to be on as one name and then changed like one letter in the name, and it's Adam.
The question is.
So Adam said what is it?
It's ATOM, like atom. ICRED, whatever that fucking means, and however you pronounce it, whatever.
It's probably Atomic RD or Atomic Red or something.
Yeah,
like
Atomic Red. Hey, there it is. Atomic Red. God.
What is it?
Atomic Red. I read good.
Perfect.
Question 21. What game would you never let anybody else play? I thought that was really cool. And the first thing that came to my mind was, I mean, when you were a little kid, people would borrow games and swap games all the time. You just, hey, you borrow this, I'll borrow that. But I remember in high school specifically, when I got GoldenEye and talked about how awesome it was, I had a friend who really wanted to play it. And no matter what, I'd be like, no. And with no good reason at all. No. And he got to the point like, so, you still playing GoldenEye, Brett? No. But you can't borrow it, and it just carried on like that forever. And
so you would like kind of you wouldn't let him borrow, or wouldn't let him play?
Well, whatever. That's what came to mind for me. But maybe it was a game like it's 2-player, but you never let that other person join in.
I was gonna say like my dipshit friends don't know a lot about video games, and see you have Grand Theft Auto 4. Let me try it. I haven't played a game since Link to the Past. Like I'd love to play. Like no, you're not gonna make any progress in my game, period.
Yeah.
And I was very protective about that game because I just got the new TV, and when you're an adult and you're as lame as I am, people come over to see your new TV.
GTA 4?
GTA 4, and people want to see GTA. Let me try it out. Like, no, you could get in a situation where you die and accidentally save. It's not fucking happening. You're not loading up my GTA game. I played every GTA game, every one. If I get arrested or I die, I reload.
Yeah.
No matter where I am, I don't know why it's like that. Everyone since the first one, I'm never arrested.
Well, because you lose all your shit up until GTA 4.
But that's the thing. It doesn't really matter. Like I could go get that stuff again. Like you'll lose like $1,000 out of like 400,000.
Yeah, but it's a pain.
It's not even that it's a pain. It's just like mostly it's because the stat sheet. Like you've been arrested. Boom. I like seeing that round fucking O. Never have I been arrested.
I had the same thing with Metroid Prime, where I think the girl I was dating at the time and she was like, "Hey, can I play?" No, you cannot. I don't know what.
That's silly. Really?
I don't know where you're gonna go, what you're gonna do. This is very important to me. I've waited 8 years for this game. You may not play this.
I pre-ordered a girl game. It'll be here in 2 months. You calm down. You silly goose.
She was really good at Monkey Ball.
Let's hug.
Let's hug in the butt.
No, the best like Monkey Target is one of my favorite mini games of all time.
It's really good.
And at least 3 or 4 girls I knew beat me at that game a lot.
She beat me at Tetris Attack a lot, which was impressive. Lining up so many combos in Tetris Attack that the Super Nintendo had slowdown from stacked combos where it was, oh god, can't comprehend.
Handle blocked. Too squarish.
Alright. Michael Shane?
I would say one that I...
Jesus Christ! An actual spit take. Holy shit,
spit take.
Oh my god, that is really gross. You should go to the
3-week-old
disgusting.
Oh god, damn.
Brett Elston.
He did it right when I took a drink and I shot beer.
Take a picture.
Whoopee!
Give me that camera.
Oh, my notes are covered in beer now.
It's gross. Your lips are all glistening with spew. Well, I guess I'll tell my story.
Yes, please do.
The one that I can immediately remember is GTA Vice City. It was my second month of college. You know when you get to college and you're like, hey, people are going to borrow stuff because I live in a dorm and we're all going to be friends. Hey, we're all in the dorm.
We can drink underage now.
Hey guys, come on over to my room. Let's share, man. Let's share. And so this girl that I was seeing with the time, I got my brand new copy of Vice City. I'm like, yeah, I'm really gonna play this game. I'm so excited. There's a chainsaw in it. There's a chainsaw.
Danger.
And she starts playing. She's like, I don't like all the blood. And I'm like, oh no. And then she starts to play the game as if she was like a normal person. And she stops at every traffic light. And she's like, I'm gonna do this. And I immediately see there are things I have to keep to myself and won't let anyone else borrow now that I'm at college. No, you're not playing it right. So I didn't let her play it again.
So Michael did that as a feature, like playing GTA as a respectable citizen of society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ruins the game.
It does.
Well, it's more that you can only play so far into the story as a respectable citizen before you commit murder, and it's just unavoidable.
I only pointed that you see the video Dirty Break said that like maybe the PC video editor Dirty Break on how glorious hitting civilians and ruining everything is. You go ahead.
No. Yeah, that's the thing.
A lot of cues there.
I can't really remember a game in which I didn't let someone else play. The last time that happened to me was my first girlfriend. Once we were in college, she got Tomb Raider on her laptop, and I always wanted to play it, and she would never let me. And her reason was that all her real friends who were coming over always wanted to play it, and so she was sick of other people playing it when she was around. So I got to watch her play it. I never actually got to play it.
Really?
Yeah.
So your entry is her entry.
Yeah,
I'm
basically,
confused.
yeah, she hated me, so even then.
That's not fair. He gets to say that about every girl he ever dated now that he's married.
What, that she hated me?
They all sucked.
He has to say that.
They were all botches.
Well, it's I was gonna say maybe Wing Commander, but I think those memories are actually from a Doug episode. So
right, Michael's fake memories are a combo breaker.
That was when Porkchop was playing Wing Commander.
Well, I noticed my friend who had blue skin at the time.
I invited him over to watch me play, but I refused to let him have a turn at it until 4 in the morning.
Said it was very expensive, and I cried all the way.
I can't think about it right now, but I have a Blu-ray to give away. I'm not going to tell you what. A Blu-ray DVD.
Can I guess which one it is?
Don't, Shane. Don't, because you have seen it already. It's in the plastic wrap. I've never watched it. Never will. maybe one of you guys will be interested. If you think of I want somebody to start a thread. Some fastidious listener to start a thread.
Is it a movie I've seen?
Stop it.
Did I see it recently?
Stop it. Shane, I will cancel your phone call.
Throw me back in the ocean.
Yes. Back from whence you came! Somebody in the forums, let's start a Blu-ray. I have at least 3 unwrapped Blu-rays to give away. Start a suggestion form of how I should give away these Blu-rays. Let's have it be fun in a TalkRadar kind of way.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hopefully that works. There's a lot of stuff I throw out there it doesn't. Teases? Who wants teases?
Okay, so I'll go.
Attaboy, Shane.
I'm doing a follow-up to my surprising origins of our favorite games. You're going to be seeing that next week. Here's a hint. One of them is not the Ocarina of Time. Because as someone asked, and I have found, the origins of that game aren't interesting at all. They said, let's set out to make a 3D Zelda game. And you know what?
And indeed they did.
Indeed
Wow.
they
It's a
completed
game
their
called
goal.
Zelda in 3D. Like, they accomplished everything they set out to.
It may have been a little rocky, but was it fascinating or interesting? No. There were some bumps in the road, and you know what happened? They made it. And you played it. And I'm not going to write about it.
It's typically when the most celebrated developer pretty much of all time sets out to make a game.
They do it.
They generally do it with minimum fuss. And if there is fuss, they fire those people, and we never hear about them.
Yep.
All right. This week I'm going to be seeing a portion of...
Holy shit!
I'm supposed to go with you, right?
Yeah.
Killzone 2.
Yeah.
I haven't asked yet, but I think it will be okay. We are going to go see a portion of Lost in the Damned that we have not seen yet, and that has not been reported on, but that several people have asked about. But I'm also going to see God of War 3 next week because I'm so biased against the PS3 that Sony fucking invited me to come down to Santa Monica to see God of War 3.
So biased.
This is what you get, PS3 fanboys.
He's also gloating, Deb.
He actually monkey balled you to silence.
It worked.
I have a feature coming up vaguely related to movies, but I really would like to tease that people get involved in the forums via this Blu-ray contest thread. And no one's put anything on the song request thread, and that really helps me out, letting me know what songs you like to hear. So go into the forums, gamesradar.com/forums. Whatever, gamesradar.com, click on forums, go to TalkRadar, and there's a song request thread where you can request songs you want to be played during the podcast.
For my teases, I want to begin with, the Michael's Killzone 2 review and my Rygar for Wii review just went up. I used that a what?
And Shane's the sneaky history of stealth games.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I was making a reference to the new review style that we're doing.
Oh. This is also
we're experimenting. We want to do it differently from anybody else.
Yeah, we want to make sure
just have your standard pat reviews.
Yeah, we want to make sure our reviews are at least are as interesting to read as the features. So that's
Being
why
Muslim is fun.
God damn it! Just check Michael's Killzone 2 review. Check my Rygar for Wii review. Nothing this week. I have 2 things posting next week, so I won't get into that just yet. But also, I wanted to tease the site we just found today. Dan Emmerich from KOXM.
Yes, super cool.
mentioned to me this site called D-Pad Hero, which takes 8-bit versions of popular songs like, say, Aerodynamic and Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger from Daft Punk, The Way You Make Me Feel, which is playing now, from Michael Jackson, an obscure Aha song for some reason, and just a couple of other...
Every Aha has one song that's not obscure.
Yeah, exactly. And a really cool 8-bit Sweet Child of Mine. Basically, it's Guitar Hero, and it's a functional ROM. You can download this ROM and play it. And play the game with an NES pad.
Super cool.
It's just using the A and B buttons and the D-pad to play songs. It's basically if you know frequency or amplitude from PS2, which are the precursors to Guitar Hero, from Harmonix. They're amazing games. That's what this is. I think it's a really cool site. Go check out D-Pad Hero. I think it's really cool. And that song's going to take us out. I think it's an amazing 8-bit rendition of The Way You Make Me Feel.
Shane Patterson, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Let's do this.
Shane Patterson, take us out.
Christianity makes my tummy hurt.
You will never win.